All right, bettors, we're back here. Joe the Fan with Shane O'Mac, courtesy of Just Win Bets, baby. We're going to be talking about the NBA Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder and, of course, the Indiana Pacers. And we'll get a little bit more detail and deep discussion about that short. But news out of the association, Tibbs is out in New York. Your thoughts on that real quick, Shane?
Yeah, I mean, that's surprising when you go to the Eastern Conference Finals and then you're fired, right? So
yeah.
I'm assuming New York is expecting bigger and better things in the Big Apple, you know. But that's very rare that you make it that far in the playoffs and then you get canned, you know.
It's not just making it that far, Shano. It's, hey, you haven't even seen that since what, 1999?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Like I think Patrick Ewing was in it, right? The last time.
No. This was, I think, Stark, and I think they had Allen Houston.
Oh, that's right.
I think that was a short year too.
Yeah, so it's been a minute for sure though, and it's surprising, like you said. Like you make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, you think your job's pretty much secure there,
right?
But I guess they want to go in a different direction. They didn't. Maybe him and Brunson or something like that, or somebody didn't. They're not getting along. I don't know.
I mean, this is the best part when Cat was playing well. I mean, give his whole career, in my opinion. But they haven't seen the NBA Eastern Conference Final since, I guess, or the final until they took on the Spurs, I believe, in '99.
Yeah. It's been a minute. I saw this on Twitter earlier. I was looking it up while you're talking there, doing the intro. The odds of the next Knicks head coach. The favorite right now is Michael Malone. Malone, and he's plus 125. He was the Denver Nuggets old head coach.
Yep.
Next is Johnny Bryant, and he's plus 400. Johnny Bryant was the assistant coach under Thibodeau in New York for the last couple of seasons. And then next up after that is Jay Wright at plus 1,500.
No way.
Jay Wright is the plus 1,500. Yeah. So
former Villanova college coach.
Yeah.
That beat my UNC Tar Heels. Don't want that, but okay.
So the odds are starting to come out for the next head coach already. So I was just curious what they were, what the odds makers and bookmakers think is going to happen.
I might go to the field. Do they have a prop for the field?
Not yet, no. But I do an interesting one here that someone who hasn't coached in a while, Jeff Van Gundy, plus 2,500.
Ooh. A little Stan Van Gundy, maybe getting out of the booth, and he's tired of dealing with Reggie Miller. I guess I don't know. That is, of course, the brother of Jeff Van Gundy, who is currently an assistant coach. But my money would definitely be on the former Denver Nuggets head coach, Mike Malone. So I would take him.
Yeah, he's the favorite right now, plus 125. I just saw this on the New York Post. Posted it on Twitter, or X, whatever they call it now, X.
Yeah.
I saw it on there, and I was like, oh, interesting. They're already starting to come out.
Yeah, if I'm Spike Lee, if I'm Spike Lee, man, I don't know. I'm just saying, dude.
What do you think of his suit that he was wearing the other was that Game 6 where it was it looked like a Knicks uniform pretty much?
Yeah, it was beautiful. I saw an interview with Denzel or some. I guess Denzel got pissed off. Some reporter, paparazzi or whatever, touched him, or said something to him. Just leave these guys alone, Let them. They're human beings just like everybody else, He
must not have seen the Equalizer.
Maybe not. I like that series, by the way, Denzel. I know we're going off topic here, but I do like that. He makes some good stuff. All right, let's cover the NBA Finals and how we're going to do this. Last time we did, of course, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. Today, we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals, again, against the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. We're going to be using DraftKings. DraftKings is something that we feel that is going to give you the best odds. And Shana, real quick, as I share this, could you tell them there was a happy hour for DraftKings?
Yeah, DraftKings does this a lot during big games or big series where you have to hop on pretty quick. They usually do it between like 4 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe.
Yep.
But they usually have an odds boost on somebody, and tonight's odds boost was a pretty good one. It's obviously over now, but it was SGA for the Thunder to have 25 plus points a game and that's something he does frequently. I looked up the stats before I even made the bet, and the only game he did not go over 25 points in the postseason so far was Game 1 against the Memphis Grizzlies. And if anybody remembers Game 1 against the Memphis Grizzlies, the Thunder put the beat down on them. They laid the smack down on them and beat them by like 40. So he didn't play like the whole fourth quarter. I think he still had 23 or 24 points in that game too. So he was only like 1 or 2 away.
Yeah, absolutely. So to find that better, since you just log on to DraftKings, you'll see it right here, and you can see on your screen there. This is for new customers, but as Shano mentioned before, during a certain period of time during the day, you've got that quote-unquote happy hour, and then you can go on there and just click it. You can scroll through here. There's different stuff. There's some WNBA. There's a nice boost there. Hey, there's another boost right here for our NHL. Got to have a 3-leg parlay there. So, or maybe a profit boost for every single game. You want to hop that in. So just hit that opt in. For those who are new to betting, just hit that, and they'll automatically on your bet slip give you an extra whatever the percentage is or whatever the promo is. So there's definitely going to be one tomorrow from DraftKings.
Yeah, and you definitely want to check the details, especially like on the profits boost. I think it's usually you have to have minus 200 or longer. So you can't put like a bunch of minus 500s together to get the profits boost. Usually it's minus 200 or more or longer. So minus 200 or above. That means so like plus 100, plus 150, minus 150, whatever. But I think that's usually the cutoff of DraftKings is minus 200.
Absolutely. Let's check out the NBA Finals right here. We're going to go to that. Here we are. And, of course, we have the games here. You can see right there on your screen. We're going to go with the game of Game 1. The spread currently at -9 for the favored Oklahoma City Thunder, who are hosting the Indiana Pacers in Game 1, -115. Indiana Pacers getting 9 points, so you want to add 9 points to the score there at -105. The over-under at 231 there, Shano, and then the money line. If you feel better that the Indiana Pacers are going to take Game 1, they're paying a little over 3-1. Okay, so again, you put $10 down, exactly, you just do the math. That's what you're going to get as your return. So $100 down, 3-1, you make $300, a little over $300 because that's 320. -410 on the money line for Oklahoma Thunder, but we're here to show you exactly what we recommend. Your thoughts on the first game?
I think the Thunder win Game 1, but I don't like money line at -410. That's just too much to put down. I think to make anything, there's not enough juice for it to squeeze there.
Yeah.
And I think traditionally Game 1s in a series tend to go under, and I kind of like the under there at 231, especially the way the Thunder's defense has been playing. The Thunder's defense has been locking people down this whole postseason, and I kind of like the under there. I see like the over is slightly favored right there because that's -112 and the under is -108. But if I had to pick a bet out of those, I think I would take the under 231.
Yeah, I like the under 231. I might do a unit on that one. It looks like it opened up at 232.5. So again, better throughout time. That odds would definitely change throughout time. So you want to get the best number. If another company is using FanDuel or Bet Rivers, just to name a few, Bet365, whatever your local betting platform is, and of course use that and get the best number that you can. All right, so let's go with the game lines, which we talked about that. Alternate spread, you guys can use that here. If you and just scroll over here, guys. Hey, if you think that the Oklahoma Thunder is going to completely blow them out by 11, hey, it's plus money. So you want to look at that. Here's another stuff here, alternate total. We talked about that. But again, once you change it, guys, the number, of course, will change. You can see that if I'm just clicking on stuff, the over and under right there. Is there going to be a tie in regulation? Plus 1,700, meaning that it's going to go to overtime? You never know. You never know. Maybe not in Game 1, but you never know. There was, of course, Shano, a prompt. We're going to show it later about a buzzer beater.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know they had buzzer beaters on there.
Yeah. Halftime, full time. What that means better is if, of course, during the halftime, who's leading. If it's a tie and then Oklahoma Thunder wins 22-1. Here, Indiana Pacers, then the Oklahoma Thunder win the Indiana Pacers are leading at halftime. The Thunder are winning at full time at plus 360. So any ideas on what you see here at halftime, full time? Do you like any of that stuff?
I'm not crazy about any of them. I think it's going to be game one, Thunder leading both first half and second half. So I mean, at minus 225, I don't know if that I like that a ton. What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't mind taking a little bit of a pizza, put some pizza money on that 22-1 tie OKC Thunder game one. I think they're going to be nervous. Indiana doesn't have the experience I think the Thunder does a little bit, right? So, but the Thunder, and we'll get a little more into detail about that. Obviously, they're deep, 11, 12 deep. Their defense, you mentioned it earlier before there, Shano. So, the easy bet, that's why you can see in the markets here better set OKC Thunder winning both halftime and full time at minus 225. They feel that, hey, Indiana doesn't even have a shot here. My thinking is the following. We know that I feel that the OKC Thunder is going to win game one. Why not put a little pizza money on 22-1, let alone the top line there, Pacers Thunder at plus 360. So that I might put a half a unit on that.
Yeah, I can see it happen. Like you said, game ones, especially nerves coming out the gate. It can definitely happen. That 22-1 is very tempting. That's a big payday there.
Yeah. And then you can look at quarters and full time. Second quarter, who wins the first quarter, third quarter, money line, etc. So there's a lot of options that DraftKings does offer, and that's the reason why we're using that. So let's go to something else here. Oops, I think I went too far. Yep, I did. Player points. Now, you talked about SGA averaging 30, 32 points a game there, Shano. This is 35 points plus. This is just for game one, guys, at plus 105. Jalen Williams, 23 plus. That means if he hits exactly 23 or more, hence the plus, you're going to win that bet right there. Halliburton, I think, is going to get shut down. I don't think he gets 20.
Yeah, I mean, and 20's at plus money there. I mean, like we talked about, that Thunder defense has been shutting people down this whole postseason. I think so too, as well. I do like Siakam in this matchup, though. I do
too. And you can see on DraftKings, they did the average for you guys right there to the left, right below their names in orange. Who is going to be maybe your ace in the hole, your X-Man, so to speak. Miles Turner. I kind of like that. Plus 105 with 15. You may want to look at the rebounds and assists, PRAs, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But I like the Siakam player plop right there.
Yeah, I like Siakam 20 plus. I think that's a solid bet. Minus 120. That's fair too. He's averaging. DraftKings tells you right there, 20.4. Yeah, I thought he's averaging 21 a game. Right. So I think that's a solid bet there.
You never know who might go off. So here's you go. Points under. If you don't feel like, hey, that thing, if he's going to go over 33.5 or under 33.5 in regards to SGA, you see the over and under there at minus 115. Williams over 22.5. That means that you don't get really half a point, guys. So that means he has to score 23 points, right? So over 23 is minus 115, under minus 115. You tend to like this this type of betting more than the plus. Am I correct, Shana?
It depends on the odds, and sometimes like the odds will be different, and it's weird. Like DraftKings right now, like the Siakam bet, that's actually the same right now. Over 19.5 is at minus 120, and we just saw 20 plus is at minus 120. But right. I've noticed it before where like one might be like slightly better odds for some reason, even though it's like the same number. So I think it's good to check both and see which one it is.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much the same. The only difference is like this one kind of takes away any There's no push because there's the half point. There's the hook, right? So like the 20 plus is still over 19 and a half, but it takes away kind of like that push factor.
Yeah, no, I understand. I completely understand where you're coming from for that. But again, it depends on better. We highly recommend, taking time, study it a little bit. This isn't just a quick thing. You go in there for 2 minutes, boom, you got it. If you feel strong about a player, especially in player points, go with it, research it. Okay, we're not saying spend your whole day on it, right? But the more that you invest, not only money-wise, but more time that you invest in, then you'll see what the numbers are coming out, and the math doesn't lie. The math doesn't lie, but you never know what will happen. Heaven forbid injuries happen. The coach decides to pull the guy for whatever reason. A guy goes, 0 for 10. SGA, let's say, goes 0 for 10. That's not good. Or he gets in foul trouble. That's something that we've seen before in the playoffs, let alone in the regular season, Chano, that when they get in foul trouble, that means they're not going to be on the court.
Yeah, foul trouble happens for sure in the NBA. Usually, I mean, the star players get away with a little bit more. They don't get hit in his foul trouble as much in the NBA as compared to others. But you never know; it can happen. Or like we talked about in Game 1 about against Memphis, the Thunder were blowing them out so bad they sat everybody, right?
Yeah.
So that's another possibility. So
yeah, we definitely don't want to see that. The threes are up here on your screen here, bettors. Halliburton, and you can see all the averages right below their names here, guys. And this is what I love about DraftKings. They take care of you. They do all that information for you. But again, highly recommend taking time of yourself just to kind of look into what you want to look at. Halliburton at 3+ -115. Now they do the over and under. If you scroll down here, guys, you'll notice the threes over and under. So again, exactly what Shano said: over 2.5 -115, under 2.5 -115. I'll tell you who I really like, and this is a shot in the dark. I kind of like Chet over 1.5. I'm going to go a half unit on that.
That's not a bad one. I like that one. So one thing we talked about with the Thunder, they have a really good defense, right? We've been talking about something that I've noticed or saw online the other day. They said as good as the Thunder's defense is, and it's one of the best in the league in the NBA. The one thing they do struggle with is they give up like the second most corner threes in the NBA. So if there's a good corner 3-point shooter on the Pacers that we can find, I think that's another good one that could be a good hit, good bet.
Well, Chet likes to hit it.
So like a
corner. Yeah,
but he's on the Thunder.
About that too.
So we need somebody on the Pacers. So like Miles Turner, he might be a good one for the Pacers.
Yeah.
But they said it was just something I saw. It literally just popped up on my feed the other day and said that as good as their defense is, they give up like the second or third most corner 3-pointers in the NBA. And it's just something that to keep in your mind as you're making your bets here. So if you have like a guard or a small forward that likes to shoot those outside threes in the corners, it might be worth putting a couple bucks on them.
So we have, of course, Miles Turner here. What about this one right here, Shano? Andrew Nebhard. That might be a little tempting there. Maybe.
Yeah, plus 160.
Yeah, not to mention Siakam, but I don't know. You never know. I mean, they may come out swinging. You know what I mean? So race to 2. This is pretty nice. The race for 2 or 3-pointers. That's pretty nice there. Let's talk about the series bet. We've got the player rebounds and assists. But let's talk about, of course, the series. Here we go. We have the series market, and this is crazy. Get out of Dodge. The Thunder minus 700 to win the series is crazy. So I don't recommend betting something like that because you're not going to get anything for your money on that, right? I would recommend going by the series spread or the correct score in regards to what we talked about in the NHL last video of what the series is going to be like. Personally, I like the Thunder 4-1. Thunder wins the series 4-1, which plays plus 250. You might put a little piece on 4-2, but again, it goes back to what we talked about in the NHL. The NBA wants to stretch that completely. I don't see a sweep here. I think the Indiana Pacers at least pulled out one game. Okay, but I see this going 5.
I agree 100%. I think it goes 5. The Thunder are a good team, dude. They've been stacking picks for a long time.
Yep.
The Thunder were really good back in the day. They had their big 3, right? They had Durant, they had Westbrook, they had James Harden, and then ever since then they've been slowly, after they got rid of all those guys, they've been slowly rebuilding and just accumulating picks and just picking up all these assets. And now, like that, all that hard work that they've been doing is finally paying off. And they're a solid team, and I think they win in 5 games. I don't think they're going to sweep them. I think the Pacers will probably win one of the games in Indiana, probably game 3 if I had to guess. If I was going to pick one, but and then I like them Oklahoma 4-1 at plus 250.
Yeah, I mean, if you do think that they're going to sweep them, take that plus 260. It's just a 10 cents difference there. But I'm gonna put a little pizza on the 450 4-2 Oklahoma City. I don't think the Pacers are going to take it to 7. You never know. You know how the NBA is. We talked about the lottery being rigged. Who knows? And we already know who the referees are going to be. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I like this, Shano, but I also like this. We talked about this in the NHL in our previous video. So where we had OKC winning game 1, etc. That's not bad. If you're going,
that's the one I like right there.
Yep, plus 600. You mentioned, Shano, about the Pacers winning game 3 possibly. Put a little pizza money on that.
Yeah, plus 600. That's pretty good. That's 6-1, right? So $10 will pay you 60, 70 total, right? So, that's probably what I'm leaning right towards right there. What is
I like while you think about that,
it might not be bad either. Plus 650.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay,
but I think game 3 is more likely, but you never know.
I like them splitting at OKC where Indiana takes game 2. That plus 1,500. That might be a little pizza money on that.
Yeah, that's a big payday there.
Yeah,
1,500.
Yeah, 1,500 or 1,400 right here. Or it could be a shocker.
Yeah,
I don't think so, but I mean, you never know.
That would definitely be a shocker for sure.
So all the combinations are right there. If you're going to game 6 or game 7, just scroll down here, guys. I mean, look at the exact same thing here. We got OKC, Indiana winning game 3. OKC, they do a seesaw here where they go to 7, 6,500. Wow. Wow. If we click that, so obviously you got to log in. Imagine if you put $10 down, guys. We're just showing that for example. $660. So you get your $10 back and you make $650. That's not bad. So we just wanted to show you how that works. Obviously we're not going to log in on our personal stuff, but yeah. But the one that you mentioned, I'll click on that. Is this the one 650?
I think I like the 600 one better.
Okay.
I think Indiana would win game 3, and then OKC closes it out 4-5.
Okay,
but I think either one's possible.
Okay, so when you click on that, betters, I mean, we're going to use our producer Mark's money. He's a big roller, $100. You can see what the difference is. So again, it's whatever the value is times 600 in this case. So you're making a $600 profit, and you get that $100 back as what you put in. So that's why it says payout is 700. I just want to make sure you guys understand that. All right. So we'll scroll back up here, and they have the exact games. We talked about that in the NHL as well. Hey, is it going to go to 5 games? Hey, look at that, plus 230. So
that's pretty good at plus money there. I think that's probably what it's going to be. Either 5. I see going 5 or 6. Most likely 5, based on the everything I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So plus 230 is pretty good odds there.
It beats minus 700. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You know. Here's
no reason betting the Pacers straight to win the series at minus 700. There's nothing worth there.
Right. So here we have a buzzer beater, which we talked about. Let me click that real quick. Is there a buzzer beater? Plus 2,000. Look at that.
To give the team a win as time expires. No chance of opponent to inbound. Oh, so it has to be a true buzzer beater too. It can't like
True
be any,
buzzer
no
beater.
time left on the clock. So there can't be like 0.2 left on the clock afterwards. So that's
Nope.
like a true buzzer beater. That's tough, but
That's very tough.
possible.
That's our producer Mark money right there as a sample. We're not going to hit the green button there to bet that. We don't have authorization. We just got this job a month and a half ago, so we don't want to get fired. So yeah, comeback series is something different too. So suppose, Shano, that Indiana makes the upset, or they go 2-1, and you got to. I mean, look, they're down by 2-game deficit. 13-1 is not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. I don't see it happening. I think if anybody's going to have that one, it's going to be Pacers, I would say, and that's at plus 1,500. That's even better. But yeah, those are both huge, and upsets do happen in NBA Finals. I mean, you can think back to no one thought Dirk and the Mavericks were going to beat the super team in Miami of LeBron, Wade, and Chris Bosh, right? So
right,
or with LeBron when he beat the super team in Golden State, right?
Yeah,
when he went back to Cleveland. And they beat Golden State in the finals. Nobody saw that one coming either, right?
Yeah, comeback wins if they're down by 20. That's an option. You never know. 0 overtime games. That's why the market has it. Hey, they're going to be at least 1 overtime game in the series, plus 360. That's tempting. Let's look at the other series props here. We talked about player props. For the lead series to win the total points, this is crazy. Would not recommend it to anybody.
Minus 3,500. Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah, that is not worth any money there at all. Just so people like what $10 gives you when you put that on there.
Yeah, look what happens here, guys. When we put $10 there, you only make 28 cents. Really? You're risking $10 to make 28 cents. Doesn't make any sense, right? We lose. That's
not worth it at all.
Yeah, we use producer Mark's money there. Let's say 1,000. You're only making $28, but risking 1,000. I don't know about that. If we have to pick one, pizza money, I'm going to go Siakam.
I would agree with Siakam there as well. If I had to pick one there, I would pick Siakam. It's a long shot, but
yeah,
a known scorer, and he's probably going to run away with it. Hence the minus 3,500. But you never know, right? Injuries happen, like we said. Hopefully it doesn't, right? But you never know. So
sure.
It might be worth throwing a little pizza money on that plus 2,800 there for Siakam.
And then you got to keep in mind bettors about fouls. Suppose that SGA's in foul trouble, so they sit him. And I'm just using that as an example, obviously. Let's look at the 3 leaders. This is something that's going to open up, as well as the rebound. We'll look at that real quick while I clear this out. Total threes made in the series. Anything that
Halliburton minus 125. That's not a terrible price for Halliburton minus 125. That's not terrible. I thought he would be favored more than that, honestly.
What about Naismith right there, plus 425?
Like we talked about with Miles Turner for the Pacers.
Right.
That might be worth a little bit of money to throw on there. Because I was telling you earlier about the Thunder give up the most corner threes in the NBA, right? They're in the top 3 giving up the most corner threes in the NBA. So that's a possibility if he gets hot.
That's nice there. Plus 1,100. I think this is a market that's really open. Rebound leader. Again, I'm going to go Siakam.
Siakam's a good pick there. Holmgren's the favorite by far, minus 185. I'm trying to look into those names now, if anybody else gets out to me. The only other person I would say is probably Siakam that's worth any money to put on. I don't think Jalen Williams is going to get it. SGA is not that big of a rebounder. He does get a decent amount.
Don't put money on Caruso.
He's not going to get like a game. Huh?
Don't put money on Caruso. I'll tell you that for rebounds. Yeah. Save your money for that one.
Go to assist, because I think.
Yeah, we're going there now. Here is, of course, this.
I think FGA is worth some money putting on, or Jalen Williams.
Yeah. Let's clear this out. 500. I like that. Either one of these two, I like Williams or SGA. I like that a lot. I think they're going
I
to
mean,
do
both of
something
them
with
get
SGA
decent
to
amount of
try to work out.
assists. Halliburton does too. I mean, he their offense runs through Halliburton, but as we talked about, that Thunder defense is good. And I think when they played each other twice in the regular season this year, and I think Halliburton only had 5 assists in one of the games. If that happens, and he has a game where he has 5 or 6 assists, that opens the door up for SGA to pass him by and get the most assists in the series.
Absolutely. So this field looks open because we mentioned a few guys there. Yeah, I mean, again, we've been talking about SGA, Williams. That's not even a bad one right there. Let me unclick that. 10,000. I mean, he's inside, he's in the paint, kick it out, the same. I mean, you never know. You just never know. And again, this is their series leaders, not just game one. We're not just talking about game one. We're talking about the whole series.
Yeah, whole series.
So I think that's open. Yeah, I think that's completely open. All right, let's see what else is here before we let you guys go. Average points per game. You think this is through the whole finals, 20 points, and you can see SGA is not even on here. But when you look at 30, this is why we talked about, hey, we got that promo in for happy hour where it was 25 points per game through the whole series. I believe that paid out, what, plus 100 for SGA?
Plus 150 was the happy hour.
Plus 150. So better check it out. I mean, go to yeah, just check it out and see what you got in regards to showing up. You're getting out of work 3, 4, 5 o'clock. It'll still be open. It goes until 8 o'clock is your deadline on Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are watching somewhere else, that is where we will, of course, have the best numbers there. But as we wrap this up, there's one thing I personally want to do and show you. Again, you guys, as a reminder, we've been asked to tell you this. You want to bet responsibly, okay, when all you're gaming. So just make sure you know what you're doing. If you're trying to do an SGP, and what does that mean? Same game parlay for game one, pick other things there. All right, so the game, of course, is at 8:40 of the NBA Finals preview. Good luck to all you bettors. Don't forget to bet responsibly. And as always, just win bets, baby. See you next time.